محقق در دانشگاه براون در آمریکا هستم و برنده بسیاری از جایزه های بین‌المللی می باشم. سخنران‌های دیگرمون خانم مهناز پراکند، ایشون وکیل پایه دادگستری، ایشون هم فعال حقوق بشر و همکار قانون مدافعان حقوق بشر هستن. فکر کنم اسم ایشون هم اسمی آشنا هست برای بسیاری از زندانیان سیاسی و عقیدتی در ایران. ایشون در کانون مدافعان حقوق بشر در کمیته های زنان و کودکان همکار و جزء وکلای همکار این کانون بودن. خانم روحی شبیهی، the Executive Director of the National Coalition Against Violence. من دیگه خیلی کوتاه معرفی انجام دادم. خانم مهرانگیز کار، میکروفون در اختیار شما.
Hi, and thank you very much for coming. I would like to talk about the violation against women in Iran, but because our time is very limited, I will give you some knowledge about some examples of violations against Iran, and something that is very important, and we are facing with this problem is that the Islamic Republic, after the Islamic Revolution, violation against women in all aspects are legal. And we cannot say this that's cultural or that's social. We can say that's legal, and we can ask for reform in legislating in Iran. The rights of the women after the revolution, according to the law in the constitution, the only source of legislation is Islam. Hence, in the political system, it is virtually impossible for legislation to be done based on the international principles of the human rights or women's rights. Article 4 of the Constitution says all laws and regulations, including civil, criminal, and all, must be based on Islamic principles. But a part of clerics in Iran, they gave us very better interpretation of Islam, and these interpretations of Islam were going too close to human rights standards. But unfortunately, the authorities in Iran, who most of them are conservative and fundamentalist and very radical, they deny this kind of interpretation of Islam, and they say that this is Islam. It means that this Islamic penal code is Islam, and we don't agree with any other interpretation of Islam but this. So we couldn't have any chance for having reform in our legislation. There is not only this limitation for legislation, but also an ambiguity of what are defined to be that Islamic principles. The hardliners have and will use this ambiguity to convert the radical interpretation of Islam to laws that are entirely against the equality of men and women. Hence, the Iranian laws are filled with discrimination against women under the name of Islam. In the first decade of the revolution, legislation seriously degraded women's rights, but from the second decade, due to internal and external pressures, some improvements were made in the very radical laws. But these improvements were and are not anywhere close to the social realities of Iran, and so an organized demand has been formed for women to request more equal rights and has been faced with the violent reaction of the government. The first violation that was ordered by a ruler immediately after Islamic Republic was a hijab by force. For women, choice of clothing is regulated. All women, Muslim and non-Muslim alike, are required to wear the hijab, and the law penalizes those who do not by imprisonment or considerable fine. If you like, you can see the relevant section under Article 638 of the Islamic Republic Code. And the other rights that violate women's rights in Iran is the rights of law. The application of Sharia makes possible the control of the private sphere of citizens' lives. Choice of spouse is also regulated. The father and paternal grandfather are allowed for their children or grandchildren to be wed before the children reach the legal age for marriage. Of course, this would be with the permission of the court. See the section under Article 1041 of the Civil Law. Currently, the age a girl can be legally wedded is 13, but according to this law, even before she turns 13, the father and the paternal grandfather can have her married by court order. A young woman is allowed, as long as she is still a virgin, to marry with the permission of her father, grandfather, or the court. If a woman marries without the required permission, a court will cancel that marriage, regardless of the age of the couple. See Articles 1143 and 1144 of the Civil Law. The marriage of a Muslim woman with a non-Muslim man is not allowed. Article 1054, Civil Law. The marriage of an Iranian woman with a foreigner is only allowed with the permission of the government. Article 1060 of the Civil Law. A man can divorce his wife anytime he so desires. Article 1133. That mere desire is not enough for a woman to divorce her husband. Article 1130. A man may marry up to 4 wives. Article 942 Civil Law, and can have many wives as temporary marriage allowed. When it comes to sexual satisfaction in marriage, women by law are always required to meet the sexual needs of their husbands. Women's psychological needs and readiness are not taken into account by the lawmakers. Consequently, women's sexual satisfaction as the most private area of their existence is controlled by the governing regime. Article 1106 of the Civil Law. Women who do not tend to their husband's needs according to these laws can be punished with severe fines and something like that. Free sexual relationships are considered crimes and are severely punished. Article 63. The punishment for a man or a woman condemned of adultery is 100 lashes. See Article 88 of the Islamic Penal Code. Adultery may even be punished by death when a Muslim woman and a non-Muslim man are involved, in which case the man is condemned to death. Article 82 of Islamic Penal Code. In cases where the man and woman are married, the punishment is stoning. See Article 83 of Islamic Penal Code. Women's romantic and sexual preferences are thus severely limited by law, by sometimes for homosexual women or men, doesn't matter. Such advantages for men inflicts the severest of damages to women's feelings, since she is under constant fear and the second wife can at any time enter their life. Such lives are devoid of any security. I'm sorry, I missed some part. Homosexuality is considered a crime, and those who commit homosexual acts will be punished. If two women who are not related to each other are found naked under a cover, they are to be punished by lashing. See Article 134 of Islamic Penal Code. Lesbians is punishable by 100 lashes, and if the act is repeated up to 4 times, the accused can be condemned to death penalty. See Article 131 of Islamic Penal Code. A man and a woman who socialize with one another without any sexual relations without any sexual relations occurring may be punished by 74 lashes. Article 638 of the Islamic Penal Code. This crime is called Fil Haram, or a taboo act, and it even includes handshakes between men and women. Private parties at which women may be in attendance are scrutinized to determine whether women are dressed correctly. And in family law, we do have many kinds of violations against women, as mother, as wife, as daughter, inherited, for divorce, for custody, for guardianship, and for everything. We cannot say that between men and women in family law we do not have discrimination. The age of maturity for a girl is 9 lunar years, and for a boy is 15 lunar years. See Article 1 to 10, note of the civil law. The age of marriage for a girl is to be 13, as I mentioned before. So this age is very important, that maturity for a girl is 9 lunar years, because that means that a child who is 9 years old, she is responsible in criminal law. And if she commits something criminal, according to Islamic Penal Code, they can punish this baby, I guess, because she is less than 9 years old. They can punish her like a 20 or 30 years person. For heritage, we do have many discrimination between men and women, and In the case of murder, the blood money of a Muslim woman is half that of the Muslim man. In a similar case, the blood money